Hi, Bonner again. So, one of the things that comes up often when students are first starting to learn how to tune and how to play in alternate tunings, how do we quickly change? This is something that's really important for performers too. How do I quickly change from ordinary standard tuning, which is Eddie, 8, dynamite, goodbye, Eddie. Okay, how do we change from standard tuning quickly to another tuning? What we do is we learn the other tuning relative. We learn to start to begin to interpret or understand the new tuning we're going to relative to standard tuning. What are the differences? And what are the things that are the same? I'll show you what I mean. We're tuned right now E, A, D, G, B, E. The tuning I want to go to is DADF, what's called DADF tuning. It's actually D, A, D, F sharp, F sharp, A, D. And so what we want to do is we want to quickly be able to change the tuning. So first of all, I go, well, what strings are the same? Well, the A string does not change, the D string does not change. So all the other strings change. Now, my D string does not change. I have to tune my lowest E string to the note D. So what I do is I use my existing D, I check to make sure it's tuned with my tuner, and always make sure your tuner has a good battery in it because they get a little wonky, they get a little unreliable if the battery is low. So now I'm tuned E and D. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower my low E string and I'm going to play it at the same time as my regular D string and pinch them together so I get this sound. Now I'm going to lower the low E string until it's the same to my ear, till it sounds the same as my D string. Now that's pretty close right there. And then I can check the tuning of the low E string on its own with my tuner and do any fine tuning adjustments. But you see how using my ear was very, very quick. I have to also tune my highest E string to the note D as well. I'm going to do the same exercise. Pinch my regular D string, which stays unchanged, and I'm going to lower my high E string so that it's tuned to D. If I can tell by my ear, it should have a similar sound to the regular D string. There you go. So now I very quickly retuned two of the strings that need retuning. So now my low string is tuned to D, my A string is tuned to A, regular D is tuned to D, my G string is tuned to F sharp. There's no shortcut for that one in this particular case, but I'm just tuning it down by a half step. So I can use my tuner and very quickly go from G to F sharp. And then for my B string, which is going to get tuned to A, I'm going to pinch my regular A string, which is unchanged. And I'm going to pinch that while I tune my high B string down one whole tone to the note A. But I'm doing it by ear. See how they sound very, very similar? And now I can just fine tune that B string down a little more to get it exactly right. And now I'm tuned to D, A, D, F sharp, A, D. And that's very quick. So that's the system that I use to very quickly go from standard into DADF tuning. What if I want to go back? Well, it's very, very simple. What I can do is I can do the regular fret to string tuning that I would normally use. So I know my D string has to come up to come to an E. So I'm going to tune it up until I think it's close, and then I'm going to check, play the 5th fret of the low E string until it makes the same sound as the A string. Okay, now that regular E string is down at a regular E tuning. I brought it back. Next string doesn't change, A. D string doesn't change. My G string is tuned down a semitone, so I'm just going to tune it up by ear, just guessing. And then I'm going to play the 5th fret on the D string, and it should be the same sound as my G string. It's pretty close. But if it's not, you just adjust it. And you do your fine-tuning adjustments anyway with your tuner. Okay, my B string is currently tuned to A, so it's got to come up a whole tone. I'll give it a couple of twists first. And now that's pretty close, but I check it by playing the fourth note on the G string. The fourth note on the G string is the note B. And that should be the same as the open B string. And now, finally, my D string, my high E string, the thinnest string on the guitar, is currently tuned to D. I'm going to tune it up to E by just giving it a quick spin, guessing, and then I'm going to fine tune it at the end, and I can check the tuning by ear. The 5th fret on the B string should make the same note as the high E. And now I'm back in standard tuning. So you can see by getting used to the notes that we can use with our ears, the more our ears become tuned into the correct sound or the correct pitch of the strings, the faster we retune. And if we're going to use other than standard tunings, if we're going to use special tunings, then it's really important that we spend a little bit of time practicing switching from standard to whatever our alternate tuning is, in this case DADF, and also spend some time practicing going back from your alternate tuning, DADF, back to standard. It's good training for your ears, and it's good practice if you're ever going to play a show outside of your bedroom. That's it for me for today. Thanks very much. I'll talk to you soon.